Chongos and coffee.
Welcome to Chongos and Wait, we don't have our coffee.
Oh my gosh, you're right.
Let's go.
Let's go make some. Oh my god.
I hit my tooth.
Qué delicioso.
You know what? I rate this 10 out of 10.
Aw.
Welcome to Chongos and Coffee.
I'm Lucero.
And I'm Amy.
And we're excited for you guys to come back. Yay.
Today we're going to be talking about rejection. So I have a couple of facts that I've been looking at over the week about rejection, and there's actually like really cool, like interesting things that I didn't even know existed. So for example, rejection, the feeling of rejection and also physical pain actually like goes to like the same part of your brain. So it like piggybacks off of each other, which is really interesting. Okay, so think about like if you've ever stubbed your toe, right?
Yeah, I did that this morning.
Yeah. So, you know that feeling like that, or like even just thinking back at it or seeing a video of someone else stubbing their toe, you think, oh, like you get that cringe feeling and you're just like, oh. And then if you think about a time you've been rejected and it's like you get that same gut feeling and like that same, you know.
Like it comes back?
Yeah. So it's kind of crazy to think about that. Have you ever noticed that?
Actually, I have. I haven't gotten rejected in a while, but anyways, when I feel like I'm sad or something, or I think of something that when I was rejected, I start feeling sad again. It just brings back the memories, which is weird because it's so weird how the brain works.
Right. Another cool fact about rejection is, so rejection actually creates surges of anger and aggression. Whether you realize it or not, it's just like, just naturally makes you just kind of angry, you know, which is interesting because rejection also temporarily lowers your IQ, and they've done studies on this. So they have like people be rejected and they're in that state of like humiliation, you know, and they have them like do tests. Yeah, they scored lower than they would have normally. So yeah, that's kind of weird, right?
It is weird. How do you think, here's a question for you. How do you distinguish, like personally, rejection from anger? How do you make sure that what you're feeling is anger and not rejection?
Ooh. This is too complex. Are we entering Lucero's philosophology right now?
I think we are. I think we are accidentally. But like I was thinking about that. Well, because when you're rejected, you feel angry, you feel unwanted, you feel a lot of emotion, upset. So when you're angry, like let's just say you're mad at work or something and your idea got turned down, how do you distinguish being rejected and being angry?
Dang. I guess they correlate with each other, right?
Yeah, so anger automatically makes you feel like you're a little bit rejected.
Yeah. Anger? Or
Anger. Yeah. Because, okay, so when I get rejected, I get angry all the time. I mean, I get upset. I'm not like, oh, like punching things. I feel angry. So
you're
when
like,
I feel
this,
angry,
that. Like,
yeah, how do you...
How do you separate those feelings?
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be like the same like feeling though? Rejection leads to anger and aggression. That's like kind of like the same. They're like kind of intertwined. Well, no, I mean I've been rejected and felt sad. So it just depends on the person, I think. Wouldn't it be? Or like the situation too.
Let us know if you ever get rejected and feel happy.
You know what?
What?
Maybe. I mean, have you ever like gone for something and thought, you know what, I really don't want to do this? Or like just making plans with your friends and you're like, oh man, I should ask them to hang out because I haven't seen them in a while or something. And then you go ask them and they say no and you feel relief.
Yes. That happens to me a lot and I feel really bad. Or when you know you should be going out with them because you haven't seen them in a while, but in the back of your mind you're like, oh, I wish they cancel.
Yeah.
because I really don't want to leave my house right now.
Is that rejection though, or
Is that us rejecting them?
Yeah.
Or rejecting the idea of us having to
do something?
do something? Yeah.
Oh, wait, I have an example. I had a friend, her friend, like they went clubbing, right? My friend had a boyfriend. Her friend was alone, not dancing. So then my friend asked her boyfriend's friend, like, hey, can you ask my friend out? And he just wasn't a fan of her, and he said, no, I don't want to. But they hyped him up. No, come on, she's alone, go dance with her. And he goes, fine, one song. And then so he goes and asks her, and she was actually pretty rude about it, right? So she was like, no, even though the guy was really attractive from what I heard. I don't know. Yeah, so he was rejected. He probably felt an immense amount of relief because he didn't want to.
Yeah. Well,
so it just depends on the situation.
I suppose, but was he upset that she said no? Even because if I was that person, I would be like, okay, well, F you too.
Yeah, like I wasted my time. I didn't even want to ask you. He probably did, huh?
He probably felt really like, why are you rejecting me? You're not the best personality out there,
right?
And you're rejecting me.
He probably got mad at my friend and the boyfriend because
for putting him in that position.
Like why do you now I feel stupid for asking this girl, and she said no to me.
And he failed.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes failing is good. Like me and Sammy were listening to this song. We were talking about
Sammy is her stepdaughter.
Yeah, on the way here to Lincoln Park. And, may he rest in peace. Because he made really good music. And I was thinking everything, because we listened to maybe 4 or 5 songs from him. Because Sammy said that she didn't know who Lincoln Park was until I put on In the End. So I was analyzing all of his lyrics. I'm like, all of these are cries for help. All of them. And then I was thinking, he's such a big person, and he felt rejected by a lot of people, even though everyone loved his music.
Damn, I don't really listen to Linkin Park a lot, but what about Simple Plan? Have you ever heard of Simple Plan?
I think I have heard of one of their songs.
Do you ever feel like breaking down?
Oh,
Do
yeah.
you ever feel out of place? That guy. Probably saying rejected, especially because they were so big in the early 2000s. And then a couple years ago, I went to the Del Mar Fair.
And they were there?
They were there. I watched them perform, and I was like, wow, they're coming back. Turns out they never broke up. And they're like, I know you guys like our old music, but we keep making some.
Oh, that's...
Like, whoa, you guys probably feel really rejected.
Yeah. If they bring it up in front of a whole audience? Yeah.
And they were singing their old songs, and all of us were like, yeah, welcome to my life. And then they start singing their new songs, and we're like, this is interesting.
Yeah. Another person that got rejected or must felt rejected was O.J. Simpson. I think about that all the time. Where he was so famous. Wasn't he like a football player or baseball or basketball?
Golf. Wasn't he golf?
Football, I think. Football? Oh. I don't know.
I don't keep up with the sports.
Yeah, me neither. He felt rejected by his wife, who cheated, found them. I think he found them, right? And killed both of them. He must have felt really rejected because his wife probably must have not worked. He probably must have been...
the sugar daddy.
Yeah, spending a lot of money on this lady. Did they have kids? I hope not, because I wouldn't want my dad killed my mom. Yeah, I wouldn't want that.
Oh. You said my dad killed my mom. I was like, I thought I just met her.
No. I was like thinking about what would O.J. Simpson's kids think. To feel so angry, like what you said earlier, their IQs go down. You have eyes on you all the time. You know that if you do something so stupid to kill a person, and you're very well known, well, he had a lot of money, so he didn't get caught. But, well, he got caught, but he went to jail.
I have no idea.
I think he went to jail. I think he got out, and that's when everyone was speculating that O.J. Simpson was Khloe Kardashian's dad. He must have felt really rejected, really stupid, really, what is that word when someone makes you feel, I don't know. He just felt so dumb at the time and had a lot of rage, and then killed the wife and the amante. How do you say amante?
Lover.
The lover. He was probably younger. He was probably the sugar baby. We have to look into that. Or you guys could look into that for us. His IQ definitely lowered because he wasn't thinking about when you're put in the spotlight, people are looking into your life. You're like a little insect. I hope we're not like little insects, but you're like a little insect, and people are just
We're
with
like
a magnifying glass.
Like Horton hears a who.
Yeah.
But yeah, what was the other thing? The aggression and then the IQ. So he felt those surges of aggression, and his IQ was lowered. And then when all that was over, then he went back to court, and his IQ was back up, and his aggression probably went away, and he won the case.
But I wonder if he thinks about that a lot.
OJ just sitting there eating breakfast, dumbasses.
Yeah, or like, you know how you mentioned that your feelings come back. So how I wonder, OJ Simpson, do you ever look back and think about that time that you may or may have not killed your wife, and do you feel that anger? Do you? I hope you do, because it's not okay to take a person's life.
No, never. Oh, it also, another thing I was thinking of, so like with the aggression and the lowered IQ, that kind of explains a lot of like sexual assaults and stuff too. Like not just murders, but sexual assaults. A lot of guys that are like serial rapists and stuff too, they've been rejected by a lot of women and stuff. So when they get rejected, and then like there's some people that will even roofie women or wait till they're very drunk. They've been rejected by these women. I actually know someone that's very close to me that happened to. She kept rejecting this guy, but they were close friends, and he took advantage of her when she was drunk, and that's like such a terrible thing. Did his IQ get lowered? I don't even think he was drunk, And then also, like, I think about an experience of mine where I was inebriated, and they took advantage, and so I'm just like were you angry at the time, or was your IQ lowered? Like what happened for you for that to lead up, like the rejection, and how long does that stay, for you to think, okay, now's my chance? That's another thing I was thinking of. So when you get rejected, depending on how big you feel like ashamed, does it last for a very long period of time? Do you think so?
I do, because I know you is just like a show, but
oh yeah,
you got rejected. I don't know not you. You got rejected. But Joe got rejected so much. But there is like people who have been rejected, and they go after them, and they still don't feel okay about it. They go after their families. They still don't feel okay. They go after their friends. I think it stays for a very long time. Maybe there's medication that people could take for that.
Maybe.
Because if there was, then a lot of things could be solved in this world.
Well, I think it's more like not medication, but it's therapy of like how to work out your feelings, how to handle that, right?
A way that I was looking at a lot of TED Talks about this, and they were mentioning how you have to think about the person that is rejecting you. Are they really rejecting you, or are they looking for something else? Well, it kind of doesn't make sense to me now that I think about it. If you feel rejected by a person, like, hey, let's go on a date, like that Mormon guy that you reject. Oh, wait, we were supposed to bring it up.
I told her about a time I got rejected.
No, she rejected.
I rejected. Sorry. So there's this guy when I was in the Mormon church. There's a lot of pressure to get married. So people just ask people out on dates all the time. And there's this guy that I just didn't. He was a cool guy, but I wasn't interested in him at all. So he comes up to me one day and he's like, "Hey, Amy, would you let me take you out on a date?" And I don't like rejecting people. To me, it doesn't feel good to get rejected or reject someone. So I'm like, and he didn't give me a specific date or anything too. So I'm like, what good excuse can I come up with to say like no? And then he looks at me, he goes, "You could just say no, it's fine." And I was like, "Oh, no." And I walked away, and I turned so red. He acted like nothing, like he was cool about it. I didn't even want to look at him ever again.
That's happened to me where I'm just like, oh, walk away. Feeling of guilt, Like when I was trying to say, when a person rejects another person, like on dates, you probably cause self-esteem
issues for them, huh?
Yes. Like the feeling of questioning why. Why am I not good enough for this person? Why did she say no? Like, what's wrong with me? you know. But when you think about it as like a professional, you go to apply to a job and they reject you. Don't feel like it's because you got rejected
Like
because
you
you're not good
personally,
enough.
yeah.
It's because they're looking for something else and you're just not it.
Yeah, they want someone better.
No, not just that. Does this rejection actually matter?
Probably think so at the time.
But now, I hope that Mormon guy is married and
You don't. He's in a throuple.
he is. Then he ended up winning. Rejection makes you feel like defeat, worthless, dumb, stupid, all these other things like you said earlier. But what you have to do is you have to focus on the goal. Work harder. There's 7 billion people in the world. You just gotta find the right one. And odds are if they rejected you, you weren't right. They weren't right for you anyways, right? The job wasn't right for you anyways. The house you wanted wasn't right for you anyways, you know? Even the most confident people get rejected. Everyone in this whole entire look at Donald Trump. He look, he's a horrible example, but look at him.
Yeah, his hair. Look at it.
He
His hair
looks-
rejected him.
But that didn't stop him. He still goes out to the market. Well, he probably has people. What the heck?
His hair.
He probably has people going to the market for him. But what I'm saying is, he knew people weren't gonna vote for him, or he even when he did his election,
He cheated.
okay, but because he knew people were going to reject him, he did whatever he could. He didn't stop trying. And honestly, he was I don't know, I don't want to bring politics into this, even though I already did. But he never gave up. Also, okay, Oprah Winfrey, she didn't get a job she wanted. And what happened? Now she's freaking Oprah Winfrey. Her name is valuable. But now she makes millions of dollars, helps millions of people. Yeah, that one job did reject her, but it helped her stay focused. And she got where she wanted to be. In fact, I don't even think she wanted to be where she's at right now. I think she just worked really hard and it happened for her.
Oh, like she didn't expect to get there?
Yeah.
Like she don't want to be here.
No, like what I'm saying is no one wakes up and thinks, oh, today I'm going to make $1 billion. Don't let rejection knock you out of your feet. Work harder. Like Michael Jordan. They told him that he couldn't play in his high school basketball team. Now he's famous, has his own shoe line, makes a lot of money from these shoes because of his name. His name is a brand.
Walt Disney?
Walt Disney, yeah.
He was rejected over 300 times. And then he worked at like a political comic place, and they fired him for lacking creativity.
And now look, people are dying.
Look at him now, you know?
Go to Walt Disney.
Yeah, his head is frozen.
He had enough money to freeze his head.
Yeah.
So that people can be creative later in the future.
I'll be back! Motherfuckers.
Yeah. Friends. Friends was a very big sitcom. She was in another place, another job. She had another show. And she didn't like it. She didn't feel like it was for her. She got rejected from that show. She got rejected from her people around her. She felt like that wasn't a place for her. And what happened next? She read a script from Friends. I just sent my sister a meme yesterday of someone that made a map that said, was Rachel and Ross on a break, yes or no? And it's what? 2023. That show ended like a long time ago.
She's
still thriving from it.
Yeah, seriously.
I love that show. In
It is
fact,
so funny.
I feel really bad. Go ahead.
No. Okay, so one time I ate an edible. And I was like looking through Facebook or something or Instagram, and someone was like, Friends isn't even funny. Watch it without the laugh track. Look it up on YouTube. So I did. I looked up Friends without the laugh track, and I was in my room in a fetal position, like rocking back and forth. It was even funnier without the laugh track. Or maybe I was just high. Back to the subject. Sorry. I wanted to talk about an experience that was about me rejecting someone again. But it's like, it's scary. It is so terrifying to like befriend the wrong person and let them know where you live, them have your phone number, them know like personal stuff about you, you reject them and they become obsessed. Like that show You that you were talking about. I've had that happen to me 2 times. I've had 2 stalkers before. So it's kind of like scary. Like they knew where I lived and one of them didn't, but he found out what city I lived in. So it's kind of terrifying because rejection could be like either a good thing, like you prosper from it, like if you get rejected, but like if you reject people, like it can be scary. What do you think you could do to like handle your emotions like that, you know, and not like to the people who are creeps?
Stop it.
Stop it, okay? No, just don't think about you being rejected. Like maybe you feel like you had this special connection with someone. Like maybe you're watching this and you're like, oh, my aunt made a very good point. I was telling her about like what we're going to talk about today. And she was like, oh, well, you need to also let them know that everything that you're telling them today, you and Lucero, like it's not an excuse. Oh, well, rejection creates surges of anger and aggression.
Oh,
It lowers your IQ. So that's why I did what I did. This is not a justification. I hope like the people who get rejected in the future, have been rejected, are rejected right now. Process your emotions and think, okay, well, I'm going to start doing things that are going to benefit me. If I would have taken this opportunity, if this job would have taken the opportunity with me, then I wouldn't be able to do A, B, and C, and go do A, B, and C if they make you happy. You know what I mean? Also, just be careful how you reject someone too. It says a lot. Because one of them, I was really rude to him. I was. You just have to be careful when you reject, and then think clearly. It's really hard, but like when you're rejected, just try to move on and better your life.
That kind of reminded me of last week's episode when you said, is it Carter? I hate you, Carter? Or I hate
Yeah,
you?
like, sure. Yeah. You I still hate you.
When you were mentioning
Nothing
about,
has changed since the last week.
I hope you step in Legos.
Yeah, bitch.
Okay, so when you said that you started doing stuff by yourself that you knew you couldn't do with him, that's exactly what you just said right now.
Yeah. That can apply to any negative emotion. We kind of did talk about rejection last week then too, huh?
A little bit.
We're all over the place last week.
Follow
You
us
guys
with-
want to hear the quote of the day?
Yeah.
Quote of the day. Hold on. Rejection is protection for something greater to come. Which kind of correlates what we're talking about too, is like you just do things that you wouldn't have been able to do if you got accepted rather than rejected. So
That's good.
Yeah.
That's really good, actually. I like it.
do with that with information, whatever you want.
Yeah, if you want to accept it into your life or reject it, that's fine.
Well, thank you guys for being here. You guys are wonderful, and we love you.
Bye!
You know who else was rejected?
Who?
Mario.
Oh, really?
Baby, I just don't get it.
Do you enjoy being hurt?
I know you smell the perfume.
The makeup on his shirt.
You don't believe his stories.
You think that they're all lies.
Bad as you are,
You stick around,
and I just don't know why.
What?
If I was your man,
baby, you.
never worried about.
What I do,
I'll be coming home
back to you.
every night, doing you right.
You're the kind of woman.
Deserves good things.
I don't know that part.
Fistful of diamonds,
Handful of rings.
Baby, you're a star.
I just wanna
Show you are. You should let me love you. Let me be the one to
Oh my gosh.
give you
He always wears black.
everything you want
And me.
Everything you want